who is MD and CEO of ONDC. Let me also take the opportunity to extend a warm welcome to all the participants from across the country, institutional heads, faculty members, students who are part of this event. My dear friends, Chetna series of lectures was initiated by UGC a couple of years ago. And in this series of lectures, we invite experts from different domains to come and share their ideas with us so that some of these best ideas can also be integrated in our higher educational system. The Chetna series of lectures are live streamed on all the social media platforms of UGC, and typically these lectures are watched by thousands of participants from across the country. After the program is over, the video of this event will still be available on our social media platforms for others to watch and benefit from the deliberations that take place in the Chetna series of lectures. Today, I am very glad to inform you that we have Shri T. Koshy, who will speak about the open network for digital commerce. I'm sure all of you have used the digital public infrastructure at some point in your daily dealings. The first ever mass scale interaction with the digital public infrastructure perhaps started with the introduction of Aadhaar. We, of course, have every day when you go to the market or when you want to travel, when you go to the airport, you do use these digital public infrastructure systems that India has developed in the recent past. Although the rest of the world knew about the developments that are taking place in DPI in India, during G20, we had a wonderful opportunity to showcase the developments in DPI, digital public infrastructure, that are taking place in India. In any digital public infrastructure, we have three basic elements. One, everybody must have a reliable digital ID, point one. And point two, there is a consent-based data sharing through secure means. And three, in many cases, you will also have transfer of money through a fast money transfer mechanism. When you use DigiYatra, you have a secure digital ID and then data sharing, consent-based data sharing. Friends, the idea of developing digital public infrastructure in India is to reach the last person in the queue, irrespective of whether you are living in an urban area, in a remote area, or in a rural area. We want to take the public services to the last person in the queue. And India has done tremendously, significantly contributed in developing the digital public infrastructure. In education, for example, the Academic Bank of Credits is one of the biggest digital public infrastructure that we have, which is linked to the DigiLocker. We have set ourselves a goal to enroll, to onboard every student right from the first standard in the school to the highest levels, level 8, PhD level in the higher education. Every student will be part of this Academic Bank of Credits, and every student will be given a unique APAR ID so that their academic progress can be tracked in the Academic Bank of Credits. There are many, many such examples where India is leading in building these digital public infrastructure systems. And one such great example is ONDC, Open Network for Digital Commerce. And this system has immense opportunities for India to reach out to people across the country so that they can use this platform for digital commerce. And especially for people, for the youth who are living in the rural areas, they can participate in diverse economic activities using ONDC and reach out to the global markets in an easy and secure way. We have none other than the CEO of ONDC to tell us how the digital commerce is going to be transformed using this ONDC platform. Shri Koshy is a very, very experienced person in this area. He has contributed immensely to the digital transformation initiatives in India. He is a well-known person in various committees involving the government initiatives, including projects such as Platinum, which developed a legal and IT framework for the Ministry of Urban Development. Friends, in today's meeting, we also would like to explore how we can collaborate as higher educational institutions, how we can collaborate with ONDC so that we can promote student entrepreneurs. Remember that a large number of our higher educational institutions, universities and colleges, they are located in rural setups. And it is these students that we want to see how they can use ONDC to become entrepreneurs. Can we also consider ONDC for marketing our own innovative products that the students may develop as part of their startup enterprises that they develop or through other means? Can we also collaborate with ONDC to start some online programs or blended mode open commerce management, product marketing, logistics, and in related areas? Can we also offer courses through our Swayam Plus platform to our students so that they transform themselves into entrepreneurs? Friends, there are many things that we can discuss as part of this program. Initially, Shri Koshy will deliver a lecture, and then we will also take questions from the audience and engage in a very fruitful discussion as part of this event. So with those comments, I would like to extend my invitation to Shri Koshy once more and request him to deliver his lecture.
Thank you, Chairman, and the whole of the Commission for giving an opportunity to come and make a presentation about this open idea of open network to this audience. I'm sure that all of you or most of you who are in this crowd would be using digital commerce. And I'm sure that all of you are using some kind of, either internet facilities, either to watch portals or to exchange mails or so on and so forth. Some of you would have even heard about ONDC in a limited fashion, and some of you would have even used. But since it's a completely new idea and introduced in the very recent past, I am sure that many of us would not have the opportunity to fathom the impact that this could have in the world of commerce. So what I will do is to briefly explain the big picture with respect to the context behind establishing something like ONDC, where we are and where we are going, and what are the possibilities it is throwing up. I mean, it could be quite an extensive lecture, so I'll give you a big picture, summary, and also point to you about the various documentations and videos available on that. And also, like the chairperson has pointed out, throw out the possibilities for the education and skilling sector to use this network in enhancing the outreach of their own solutions and products and courses to a larger audience. Then I will leave it to the question answers and leave it to your questions, and I'll try to answer all of them in the limited time. So let me just, proceed by explaining the context. I'm sure that most of you are familiar that internet was founded on the principle of openness and decentralization. What do I mean by that? As you know that the computers across the rooms and across continents started talking to each other in what we call the wide area network when TCP/IP as a protocol was evolved. But that was at the base level for packet level information to move in a very streamlined fashion, so that computers across continent and across rooms could talk to each other. But that was a domain of the geeks or computer people who are quite computer savvy. But later, as the world changed with the introduction of an idea called World Wide Web, it was introduced by a gentleman called Tim Berners-Lee, who created this protocol HTTP, which will enable open communication with respect to information sharing. So he took a decision when he started that it is going to be a public good. And he didn't know how it is going to impact the world. He said either it will change the world or it will come to nothing. He decided that it is going to be a public good on the top of which information sharing will benefit a large cross-section of academicians, entrepreneurs, business people, and friends, and everybody to connect and share information using this open protocol, leaving the innovation for the variety of enterprises who are giving the services on the top of it. Imagine for a second that he did not make HTTP an open protocol and made it to a private network. Probably internet would not have evolved the way that we are seeing today. And maybe we would have been paying a certain service fee to even access the internet, more than what we have for the connectivity today. So that is how the information sharing started. The next progress happened in the communication, what we call email. There again, we have what you're familiar with, an idea called SMTP, which is an open protocol, which would essentially help various platforms to communicate with each other seamlessly without a super body overseeing this exchange of information. I may have a mail ID given by Gmail. You may have a mail ID presented by UGC.com, which might be a highly secure platform maintained by experts because of the criticality and of the services that is offered. But independent of this platform can talk to each other using this SMTP protocol. That's how the next stage of progress happened with respect to internet. The third stage was about commerce. In commerce, the world took a different view. The world created walled gardens. So if you look at the slide on the left side, is a current scenario of digital commerce. I've used the word platform A, platform B, and platform C just to represent some different platforms. For example, one could be Amazon, other could be Zomato, other could be Uber. These are all domain-specific platforms. So what is unique about this platform is that they are walled gardens. So if you are a subscriber in S1 and S2 in platform A, you are visible only to C1 and C2, who are the consumers. So if you are a seller, S1 and S2, you are visible only to consumer C1 and C2. For simplicity, the platform I have broken to two building blocks, seller interface and buyer interface. There are many more building blocks, but simplicity for understanding, I've kept it this way. And that is the current model, that they are walled gardens. So if you are a seller and you want to be present in two separate platforms, you have to create a digital, physical, digital, contractual, procedural interface with two enterprises. And because of this need to have these kind of multiple integration, only few platforms that establish as a large volume base to begin with will succeed, and the rest will just die. So it kills the competition and leads to market concentration. This is a challenge the world over. So different countries are trying to address this challenge through different mechanisms. The developed countries like America are trying to address this issue through regulation. They're creating something like the Online Innovation and Choice Online Act and the anti-regulation to combat concentration in e-commerce. EU passed a Digital Market Act to try and address the problems with few platforms becoming gatekeepers. UK has just introduced a bill currently under review. So India decided to solve this problem using technology and markets. That is the idea of ONDC. And if you look at the old picture which I shared with you, you come to the right side, you would see the new idea. What is this new idea bringing? Two principles: unbundling and interoperability. What do you mean? If you look at the left side of the platform, it had two blocks stuck to each other, buyer interface and seller interface. Unbundling means it can be broken to two and separated out to two different entities. Interoperability means that they can all talk to each other. Like any web page created using HTML can be viewed through any browser, or any mail created by any email server can be read by another email server in a completely different domain. This enables interoperability. What it means that if you are a seller in platform X and the platform X is ONDC protocol compliant, they are visible to all the consumers on the right side, irrespective of which platform. So if I can, in the mature stage, let's take the case that if you have a taxi registered in Ola, it should be visible to Uber. It's not the case yet. I'm saying this is the possibility. And if you are a seller registered in platform X, you are visible to the consumers in platform Y. So this is the idea of open network for digital commerce. And what ONDC has created is this protocol, globally first implementation of an open protocol that will help the buyers and sellers to discover each other, make a choice about their relationship, enter into a contract, make the payment, arrange for the logistics, and consummate the order. And if there is any complaint, take it up using the same network. This is the idea of an open network. You heard the chairperson explaining to you our earlier experiments with respect to the foundational DPIs we created. Aadhaar, in span, we have created 1.4 billion Aadhaar holders, which is able to do more than 35 crore eKYC transactions in a month. Similarly, UPI helped us to move from 250 million transactions a month 7 years ago to 12 billion transactions a month, and helping us to move from a banking penetration of 18% to 80% in a matter of 7 years, whereas the conventional model would have taken, as per the economist prediction, as well as what had been witnessed till now, about 40 years. These are the kind of transformation that DP has all. And with this confidence of this as a foundation, we have moved into the more complex of all is to create this open protocol for enabling commerce. So this essentially is an idea we shaped them in India. So there is no parallel to anywhere in the world. There was never anybody attempted this. So we had to start everything from zero. So first we have to demonstrate it as possible. So we started with a very small segment of grocery and food, and then and in the matter of 15 months, we have now practically, as you can see, variety of products and services. Our vision is that in a matter of couple of years, every product and service, keep the word product and service, B2B or B2C. It could be skilling, it could be job seeking, it could be selling computers, or it could be financial credit, it could be investment. Anything that is catalogable will be visible in the ONDC network using this protocol. And this visibility, and then different buying application would come and help their buyers to buy whatever relevant for them. And their loyalty will only be to the buyers, and they are not trying to push any sellers, which is giving them any extra gratification, which is one of the biggest challenges of the current model that works. So because our mind is so tuned with the idea of platform and walled gardens, it is often not easy to fathom what such an unbundling and interoperability can bring about. Just to give you, as I said, this is something that, a part of the larger vision of our Honorable Prime Minister with respect to Digital India. And with financial payment also reached this level of, 82% banking penetration, this is going to completely change. Probably all the people are sitting around here are users of e-commerce, but because of the current restrictions and limitation of the current model, the total penetration of e-commerce today is less than 10%, 7-8% on the buy side, and on the sell side, it is even 2 or 3%, which means that the participation is extremely skewed towards a privileged section of the society, whether in the buying side and the mature section of the seller side. That is what we are trying to change. In the last few months, if you just look at January 23, when we made it visible, it was doing a transaction of 1,000 transactions. And in 12 months' time, it was reached 7.5 million transactions. There were some merchants of only 600 in January, and now it is more than 5 lakh. There are only 5 cities, then it is 1,200 cities. And we are expecting 8 to 10 times growth of this in the next 1 year. So all this together is going to make a humongous impact. Let me just run through. One biggest impact is increased competition. So it is not going to be limited to few big platforms dominating, straddling the total commerce, and also limiting the option to the seller and the buyers. When you have multiple such enterprises coming into the stream, it will become a much more democratized world. If I just give you an example on the buy side, the kind of people who have come, we have seen Paytm coming from the fintech side, PhonePe coming from the fintech side. Last day, we have Jagadesh, which is one of the largest newspaper chain in northern India, becoming a buying side application with a view that they can now offer their clients a lot more opportunity. I'm just giving you some examples. And these are the way it will transform. So it would mean the rent-seeking capability of the participant, of the large platform producers will remain. You would see a larger participation of the sellers. We have seen big companies like Unilever to artisans and weavers are all now enjoying the opportunity to be visible. In fact, just to give you an interesting example, earlier, if you want to go to Kanchipuram saris, you will only do to some large chains across the country. Today, but whereas the original weavers could be many coming from the Kanchipuram town, and now all of them are independently present there, expanding their reach and expanding their realization, as well as making it affordable to a larger cross-section of the society. These are the kind of transformation that is taking in terms of the participation. It is also creating a lot of opportunities in the area of logistics. We are finding a large number of logistics provider coming. We are finding that the supply chain is giving a bigger opportunity for the variety of consumers across the country, whether it is for the sourcing for inputs or selling of the output. It is going to completely change. And see, I wanted to give you a big picture, and there are reasonable amount of documentation which is available on the network on ONDC, including some nice detailed video shorts available in the ONDC Academy. But the point that is there is that in the next few years, it is going to change everything about customer access, everything about advertising, everything about logistics, everything about packaging, everything about the way products are marketed. So that is why it is going to throw open humongous opportunities. So as the chairperson has earlier suggested, there are many things that as the academic branch of the society can benefit and participate. It could be, there is humongous possibilities for the universities and education institutions to incorporate the various elements about the network as a part of the curriculum, which should at the base level increase the the employment opportunity for young graduates, to possibility of technical innovation on the technology stack, which is continuously evolving, building on AI and machine learning, etc., to be to be baked into this possibility of a change network, and also to do so technology wise higher education, as well as policy wise and marketing and business management and material management and logistics management, all of them, how it is going to transform is going to become a critical requirement. And that also provides significant research opportunity for people to expand the realm of knowledge. So at the base level, learn the new learning to find employment opportunity, and on the higher end, expand the envelope of learning to to be a key player in the transformation journey. And secondly, I'm sure I understand, as the chairperson pointed out, many of the universities and higher educational institutions are providing incubation opportunity for the young entrepreneur mindset, and for them now have a much more competitive way to reach across to a larger market, which is not a possibility today, because otherwise customer acquisition costs can be a very, very daunting challenge for them. Also, I understand that many of the academic institutions have also created their own online courses and trying to reach across to a certain limited set of audience. And that can the user acquisition can be very painful and elaborate process and very expensive. Now in an open network, suddenly you have a market of 1.4 billion who will be available without being locked into any particular platform. That means each of them will have an opportunity to make their services and courses visible to a larger audience, and different enterprises will help their relevant kind of segments to sort of build on it. That way, in fact, I'm sure that most of you would agree. One of the challenges that the industry today is facing is the speed at which the new learning is percolating down into the universities and colleges and skill development institutions, that very often the companies are forced to undertake significant amount of retraining, new training, etc. by themselves. Whereas a network like this suddenly throw up the opportunity, to continuously make the available new digital content, which are contextual and which can help to, like the chairperson agreed, to build on my own book of credit through keeping myself continuously relevant to the changing world around. So these are the big possibilities. And as I promised, I will finish at this point of time of 20 minutes, with the vision that we have, that we recently brought out by a study, that it will enable a five-fold rise in India's digital consumption, and it will unleash 80 billion opportunity for startup, and a completely different level of participation. So that this time, with this, I will give a sort of wind up, just to giving one case study of like I said, Vidya Handloom, who is a weaver from Kanchipuram, who is now making their products visible across the country. So they transition from a traditional sale to e-commerce, expanding their product listing from 20 to 900 and stabilizing at 400 enhanced digital catalogs. It accumulated 1,200 orders, which would have been even thought through from all across. I'm just giving you some case studies that has been done. There are a lot more that will be there. All these case studies, together, shows us what are the possibilities that is showing. So, which is, the one of the critical, essential requirement of building India to a $10 trillion economy, which is a vision of the people of India as well as the government of India. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Koshy for a wonderful presentation on ONDC. Very comprehensive and simple to understand. We will take some questions from the audience. I have a couple of questions that I have received, and my technical team also will send to me these questions from the social media platforms. And those who are present on this Zoom platform, you can also raise your electronic hand, and our technical team will unmute you so that you can put your question. So one of the questions that has come to me is, we have also launched what is known as One District, One Product campaign, because India is so diverse and we produce so many things. Do you have any plans to synchronize ONDC with the One District, One Product program?
Of course, One District, One Product is two parts. One is identification of the product from the relevant product from every district. Secondly, to provide the market access with appropriate branding, which is coming under ODAP. And as you would understand, ODAP is with the same sponsoring Ministry of Commerce. And in fact, all those ODAP products will be visible through this open network. Many of them are already there. If you go into one of the buying applications and go for a curated thing called Amazing India, you would see already at least many of them are there. But we have a concerted effort to make all of them visible, maybe in the next few months' time. In fact, today I was there at the Ministry of Commerce. We plan to have a big workshop in the coming month between the ODOP team and us to take it on.
Is there any ONDC app that we can download on our phone and then place orders?
The interesting thing is ONDC is not a platform, it's a network. So there are different buying applications. So all of them will expose you to the same set of sellers. So I'm just giving you some names. The most recent one is an app launched by Dainik Jagadesh Group. It's called Khojle.com. Then you would go to Paytm, you would see at the bottom called Shopping, ONDC Shopping. You go to Ola, you will see ONDC Food. So there are today about 10 of them. Probably some of you come from Bangalore. You may know in the riding side something called Namayatri, which is there in Bangalore, Delhi. Few towns have started, which is for ride hailing. So all of them are coming together. So the full list is available in our ONDC website, but many more keep in touch. As of now, it doesn't matter. You may find something comfortable, but still the visibility of the sellers are all the same. So it's a question of what your comfort, develop your comfort.
So that means different entities can develop an app.
Yes.
And through the app, we can access all the sellers in the ONDC platform.
Yes, absolutely.
So how do we know that these apps are trustworthy if everybody keeps producing these apps?
So one thing, everybody cannot produce app, because any app which is visible on the ONDC network has to be first done a due diligence by ONDC, and then their application has to be tested. And only once their application is tested, they will be given an entry in the registry of ONDC. Unless your name is there in the registry of ONDC, you are not part of the network. So,
Okay.
and then of course the name will be in our website. So you cannot simply create an app and say, hey, I want to access. No, they have to get this tested, due diligence done, and get the name.
Right, right. So it's secure.
Yeah.
So the other question that has come is, I'm a small kirana shop owner in a housing, closer to a housing society, and I want to register on ONDC, take orders from the residents of this housing society and deliver the products to them. So please tell us how I can do this using ONDC.
See, when you are really a small kirana store, theoretically you can become your application, or you can have a mobile-based application ONDC compliant. But since the effort for a small enterprise, there are many aggregators who are coming. In fact, who will help this small network. We already have few thousand kirana stores already there. Based on the location, you could find an aggregator. The list of the aggregators are available in our website. And also, I'm just looking at, there is a, if you send a WhatsApp message, I'm just giving out the number for their convenience, 813093550 and send a hi message. Then that WhatsApp will help you to think, find out what to be done. It will interact with you based on the different, at least 7-10 languages are there. It'll ask you what language you understand, whether it's Tamil or English or Hindi or anything. Then it'll ask you whether you are a seller, what kind of seller. Quite a lot of details will be available.
So this interface, you are saying it is a text-based interface in multiple Indian languages.
Yeah,
but,
WhatsApp-based.
Right. But many people may not be familiar to use the text. Is there a possibility that we can have a voice-based interface?
Oh, yes.
I speak in Telugu and...
Voice-based interaction is not yet ready, but it's under. We are working with Bhashini to sort of launch that soon. But it will be available. But what we have done is to help people learn. It's a matter of few months. Probably by December, you would see all of them. But in the meantime, we have provided a lot of audio clippings available through, people can listen in all these languages. So it's available on YouTube. Make it simple, like each of them, each component, like a 3 minutes, 4 minutes, simple video.
So how do we ensure that the way UPI caught the imagination of people, you can go and use UPI to pay to a seller of vegetables or seller of fruits to air travel tickets. What steps are you taking to make sure that ONDC catches the imagination of ordinary people across the country?
I know it is, anytime when you talk about a transformation of this scale, it takes some time. If you remember, UPI started in 2016. It took about a couple of years for it to percolate down, and then it catches fire. So like I said, in the last 12 months, it has gone from 1,000 to 8 million. And by next year, we expect 50 million. And then by that time, it reaches its own threshold volume. So we are seeing humongous amount. You would see a lot more activity. In fact, in the first 100-day program of every ministry, they are working with us to see how each of the ecosystem, whether it is farmer producers or whether it is small and medium enterprises or it is street vendors, all can be empowered. So it's a matter of maybe 1 or 2 years time before which it will all get take the same speed. UPI, I still remember when we started in 2016, nobody believed that it could work. It took few years, but then the explosion started. And that's how, so we have no doubt about that possibility. It's a question of, India is such a large country, we need to let it reach some amount of it.
Right. Right. So there is a question from the
sir.
social media.
Oh, sir, sorry. This is where I'll reach across to support from you and the large pool of the academic institutions, because we need people who are trained. And that is why it's become very, because only then they can do the appropriate, whether it is technology development, process development, digital marketing strategies, supply chain strategies, all over, they need to say how to live in a network world. And that's why I sort of, I was very excited that you gave us this opportunity, because you're one of the critical components in this transformation agenda.
Correct, correct. The largest number of educated young people are present in our educational system in India.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think we can work together. But the question about training that you mentioned, now that we have this SWAYAM Plus platform on which we are planning to make the digital content available to our youngsters across the higher educational landscape, can we think about offering few credit-based courses on our SWAYAM Plus to our students in the university and college?
Of course, yes. We will work with you to develop. In fact, I've already put in a team to develop base level and advanced level courses. I took the help from Mr. Koshy to identify your the framework. So I've already put in a team, and we will develop this course. It could be at the undergrad level or even at the postgraduate level, because the challenges and expectations are different. So we will help work with your team to develop a full program that can be available. And that could be there in SWAYAM, and eventually probably each of the universities can incorporate at the relevant part of the, the learning, whether it is commerce or whether it's technology, in both.
Correct. Of course, these courses will be open for students from any discipline to take.
Yeah, absolutely.
Transferred, and they can accumulate it as part of their credit requirements for their degree program. So
and also, some of the cases, it can become some courses can become a mandatory component.
Okay. We are at present giving it as a choice to the students.
Correct. No, I said eventually as it grows, like we have added each of the elements in the, that could become something came up.
I will remove the screen sharing. Yes.
Okay. Possible.
Right.
Yeah.
So in fact, just for the information of the audience who are watching this program, UGC and the National Council for Vocational Education and Training, we are with various organizations, including ONDC, to design skill-based courses in digital form and make these courses available on SWAYAM Plus. Soon we will be reaching out to the universities and colleges and provide a list of these courses, including those that will be provided by ONDC, and encourage the students to register for these courses. And once you go through an assessment process after you attend this program in the online mode, the credits can be integrated into your degree program, so that by the time you pass out of the university or the college, you not only focus on the academic part of your program, but you can also focus on the career part of your program, and you will become employable. And I'm very happy that ONDC is joining hands with us in providing some of these important courses to you. I have one more question which has come from our audience. And this question is, how ONDC can compete with the big players like Amazon and Flipkart?
Okay, see, question, this is an inclusive agenda. So the idea is, between an open protocol, they have the freedom to join the network. Okay, because while they're giants, if I just give an example of UPI starting, those days we had 250 million transactions a month. We had only Visa and Master and American Express. So we thought that that could probably, I remember having been in discussion, say that in 3 years' time, it will become 500 million transactions. Because that is all that was possible in that model. But today, it has reached 12 billion transactions because the model is different. So that is the way this is going to transform. Every seller will want to be in this network. And I'm sure that many of these biggies also will become a part of the network. The first thing has already started. Probably you would have seen Ola, which is the big network on the mobility side, has already joined for non-mobility part. So it's not a question of whether, it's a question of when. Finally, it will become an all-encompassing network of service providers coming together with the users.
Right.
Incidentally, even the big
This
established players as only in India, while you and I and the people around the cream of the society may be active users, that's only less than 6% of the total transaction.
right.
We have a
You're absolutely
long way to go.
correct. This question is about the participation in ONDC. Is it limited to only government organizations, or can anybody join in this ONDC movement?
Oh, anybody can join. In fact, we have more private sector than government sector already in the system. And to give the flexibility and agility, government has set up even ONDC as an independent Section 8 company with participation from all banks and financial institutions. So the idea is to make it all pervasive.
Okay. Is there any standard application format online available on ONDC if I want to become part of ONDC?
Oh yes, the complete protocol is available in GitHub. If you go to ONDC website, it will give you the link. Everything about us is open and transparent. That's why it's an open network. The complete protocol, if you're a technically minded person, you can see the complete protocol available. There are reference application lying there. There are documentation lying there. The whole idea is that is, anybody should be able to use their imagination to build on top of it.
Right. So there is one more question, and it says, are there any edutech content providers who are collaborating with ONDC?
Like I said, this network is expected to even add education and skill development as a part of the network. Already, some of them are an early part of integration. And it is called, in fact, it's a subnet of ONDC, is called Open Network for Education, Skilling and Transformation. So those kind of people will also come through a certain process. In fact, we are working with the Skill Ministry and Labor and Employment Ministry, etc., to enable all these possibilities to evolve. As of now, it's in the very early stages. We are only some POCs running. By next year, this time, you would see many more of them.
So there is one person from the audience, he says, I want to get trained in ONDC related aspects so that I myself can go ahead and train others. Is there such a possibility?
Some decent amount of material is available through what we call ONDC Academy, which is available free for you in the YouTube, which has got extensive amount of video and text-based reference material for you to understand with all of them. That could be a good thing. And we are continuously enhancing. And we are hoping that when I work with UGC, we will also enhance the quality and the extent of these kind of documentation. But today, we actually provide a certification program for people to build on it.
Right. Thank you very much. Technical team may just see if anybody has raised their hand. We will take a couple of questions. If anybody has raised a hand, you can unmute them.
Nobody so far, sir. Nobody.
There is nobody. I think from the social media, we have received extensive, different kinds of questions. And Shri Koshy has very nicely explained all those questions. Thank you very much, Koshy ji. Would you like to say a few words before we conclude this program?
Only two parts. One is that I'm looking forward to collaborate with each of you to spread this message, which is a globally first initiative. Second thing is that I would like each of you to participate in certain fashion. Go in, find out, do a transaction and experience the diversity. On one side, the most sophisticated mobile phone is available. On the other side, you will see Bhagavan Krishna ka Prasad also is available.
Okay. Wonderful. On that positive note, with many thanks to Shri Koshy, we will conclude this program here. And thank you, audience, for being with us during this hour-long program. Namaste.
Namaste.